I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your CPG rant of the evening. Opportunism is an incredible thing to take advantage of, but maybe not always the best to take advantage of. One of the things that I actually have a real problem with is when I see something that I have succeeded in just a little bit, I want to immediately take advantage of it to the maximum extent possible and try and do everything to squeeze every last drop of success out of it, and that doesn't work. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but it doesn't for me. So an example of this is actually that I set up a Redbubble shop. The Redbubble shop, of course, Redbubble is a site that allows you to sell merchandise with particular images that you upload to it. And as a result of a joke at work, I uploaded an image of the cold face with sweat drop in the Android emoji set from Android 5 and 6. To Redbubble, and you could put it on shirts and journals and stickers and everything else like that. And so this Redbubble site, was a quick little thing. I just uploaded it, I played with it a little bit, and then I was done. And my coworkers loved it. Now, granted, I did this on the day before Thanksgiving, which is a bit of a slap happy day. If you're at your office at Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the day before Thanksgiving, people are going to be a little bit silly. But what I found is that people bought $250 worth of this Redbubble crap that day. And I was like, holy cow! Look, if people will buy this emoji, think of all the other emojis they'll buy. I could make a devil horn shirt, and I could do all these other things. I could automate it. I could make all of these different items in order to, make money off of it. And I'm sitting there going, but, yeah, I could. But at the same time, is that really what I want to be doing? Do I really want to be taking over, taking someone else's artwork and profiting on it? Is that what I want to be, making money at? And I still don't actually have a good answer for that, but the reality is that my guess is that the reason that people bought all these things is that, one, this particular emoji is actually a very, charming one. It's got the kind of guy the, oh my god, cold sweat drop thing. But the other thing is that, I had a captive audience who was interested in this particular, emoji. I can't take that and multiply that out 1,000 times. If I did that for every emoji in the Android emoji set, the reality is that I would probably sell almost none of them. But my first thought was, look, I have made $17 in, a cut off of this. I should clearly go out and try and make, $1,000 off of this. And that just, never works for me. But never works for me doesn't mean never works for anybody. So, there are several other types of opportunism out there, right? This is a case where I was taking something which is open source and openly licensed, and there's actually no reason to think that this is not fair use, and this is a reasonable thing to do, and no one is harmed by it. But at the same time, there are also people who take advantage of opportunism in other ways. Opportunism via theft, for example. You can oftentimes see people who are streaming content that is, copyrighted other people and making, getting lots of viewers on it, probably making ad money. And even if it gets taken down, they're still probably going to get a significant chunk of change out of that. And that always bothers me. Always. When you're talking about opportunism via theft, it bothers me a lot personally. That's just the way I am. I've been a big open copyright person, and much of my content is openly licensed. If you go to my Flickr page and look through my photos, all of those are Creative Commons licensed. You can take them and do whatever you want with them. I found hundreds of YouTube videos that actually use my Flickr photos in them. One of them actually to make a really cool, they took a picture I took of a rhinoceros, and then they showed how to trace it in Photoshop and then make a word cloud out of it that's shaped like a rhinoceros. And it was a cool demo. It's a really awesome thing. And I have no problem with that because it's openly licensed and you can take that and you can do whatever you want with it. But people who are stealing content bother me. And so the number 3 item on trending the other day was the Airbnb ad, but the Airbnb ad was one that someone had taken and re-uploaded under their own name, and it had 1.7 million views and had annotations all over it and other garbage like that, which if Airbnb had uploaded themselves, would not have been what would have happened. And that bothers me. It bothers me deeply to my core, even though it's advertising, and advertising in general, advertisers would absolutely want this content to be out there and everywhere and everything else like that. But to me, to benefit financially off of stolen content just hurts me in my soul. Another form of opportunism is just opportunism via timing, right? This is the like get in on a trending topic when the trending topic is hot. And so the day before the election, when my stream title was "Don't vote for Donald Trump," there's a certain amount of opportunism that goes into that. When 10 Minute Break sat down and the day of the like East Coast DDoS, he made an East Coast DDoS title as his YouTube title and was talking about it the entire time. Like, this is opportunism. It's taking advantage of an opportunity via timing. And these trending topics are absolutely an effective way to do things. And I've done some of that. Like, I've taken advantage of things. I did that with the sub purge in my 2 minutes of true CPG episode, or CR Schmidt episode, and other things like that. Like, that's absolutely a reasonable thing to do. But if I'm going to be successful at something, I don't necessarily want it to be just by like hitching on to that trending topic. I'd really like it to be on something that's more concrete than that. And so when I look around, I look at like Real Engineering, and Real Engineering is a channel that's built up 350,000 subscribers with 21 videos. It's gotten more than 11 million views and has more than $800 per month of Patreon support. And it's never done a trending topic. Why are plane windows round and not square? Like, how did they build the Burj Khalifa so tall? These aren't trending topics. But he's still been able to build this community and this successful product because he's produced quality content. A small amount of quality content can go a long way. And then, of course, there's the more typical form of opportunism that we see all the time, which is clickbait, right? You have thumbnails which are not representative of the content which is contained inside the video. You have all kinds of things in that vein that are, collecting this taking advantage of the human psyche. Clickbait in particular is oftentimes the like clickbaity headlines of "you won't believe what happens next" is inducing a dopamine rush in your brain that is resolved and you gain even before you make the click. You are experiencing the chemical reaction to what is going on before you ever click on the article. And in those cases, like clickbait and other things like that, I'm not into it. I've had a couple of, people who I've subscribed to who go that route, and I've just kind of like, I'm not into it. And I draw, like, everyone has to draw their own line, right? Like, I draw the line, like, using a title which is descriptive but provocative is not clickbait to me. Using a description which is descriptive and everything else like that's fine. But if you just put a naked lady on your music stream and it's just music with like a beach background or whatever else like that, like that's not what I'm going for. And so, for example, I think that John or Hank Green recently commented that like their most viewed video ever on the Vlogbrothers channel is a video about, giraffe sex or something like that, because they were asked a question by one of their viewers like, is giraffe sex often homosexual or something like that? And the answer is yes. But, they had a video of giraffes, or a thumbnail of giraffe sex and a title of giraffe sex. And as a result, it hits all of these like dopamine triggers. And I don't have a problem with that, right? Descriptive and accurate thumbnails that represent the content of a video, and descriptive and accurate titles that represent the content of the video, even though it's provocative, to me, even though it's opportunist, doesn't cross the line. When you are including thumbnails or titles or that your content doesn't have, that's when I personally draw the line. Opportunism goes both ways. Every time you make a decision to take advantage of one of these opportunities, it could go well or it could go poorly. And it could gain you a number of people or it could lose you people. I've had this discussion with before with people where I say, like, they're like, well, this clickbait's really going to cause the audience to go away. I'm like, no, probably not. Overall, they're making a judgment call on whether they're going to gain more from this, opportunism or not. And so a lot of times I think people associate that, people say clickbait. People say clickbait, 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 when that they really mean is opportunism. And I think there's lots of different forms of opportunism, and I don't think they should just be ruled out outright, because taking advantage of things which are trending is what the news has done for years, right? Breaking news, first to report, anonymous sources say XYZ. Like these things are natural and part of the human condition for desire of more information, and there shouldn't be anything wrong with providing that information. Hopping onto the trending train is absolutely something that's reasonable to do, even if I'm not interested in doing that particularly, and have moved away from taking advantage of these things. I've done it, right? Like I said, Vine was killed by labor unions, like a little bit clickbaity, a little bit, it's opportunism. It's taking advantage of a discussion topic that is currently trending in the world today, even though most of the content of that 4-hour live stream was not talking about Vine. And that's okay. I mean, it's, in my opinion, that's okay. You can draw your own line wherever you want. But to me, I'd rather succeed on the things that aren't like that, on creating quality content that isn't taking advantage of the trending topics, on taking advantage of providing good information about solid topics that people are interested in all the time in order to grow. I don't blame you if you're opportunistic. I don't blame you if you use clickbait. I won't watch you if you use clickbait and it's a lie. And I really need to convince myself that just because something has succeeded a tiny little bit doesn't mean I should double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, septuple, sextuple down on that thing. Because the chances that that's going to work for me, in my experience, in everything that I've done, is pretty low. I'm the Chris who plays games. This has been your CPG rant on opportunism for the evening. If you want to check out some of the other CPG rants, you can see them probably like in the corners here, or maybe over there, or something else like that. And if you want to buy a shirt with the funky logo I've got on it, I'll also include a link to Redbubble to the funny cold sweat face drop shirt on Redbubble you can check out as well. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.